What's up with it, you guys? Welcome to the All Sports, All Plays Network. This is Real Talk. This is your boy Freddie here. Hey, we got a big show for you tonight. We're going to talk about who's the best team in the NFC. We're going to talk about who's the best running back in the NFL this upcoming season. We're going to talk about on the NBA side, we're going to cover the play-in games. We're going to cover the first round of the NBA playoffs. You do not want to miss. Hey, right after this break, it's going to be real. It's going to be real talk. Let's go. What's going on, gentlemen? This is another episode of Real Talk. Got my dude Chris to the next to me. Got Kenny at the bottom. You guys doing good today?
Doing great, man. Just sitting back. When your team is not in the playing tournament, you get to relax and just chill.
Number one at that, too.
Number
one at that, man. We number one chilling, looking at everybody else, getting tired in this playing tournament, man. But I'm good. My team is good. My sports is good, so I can't complain.
Yeah, you got to move me over so everybody can see my shirt.
Is it a net shirt?
At the bottom.
I see what you did there.
I see it. There's a Brooklyn Nets.
I sit in New York on there. I sit in New York on there. We represent ours at all times.
Always.
All the time. We ain't even this,
always from the Bernard King days, baby.
Mm-hmm.
They
don't know who this 21 is. It's not a Embiid, too. It's a real one. Embiid's the first section. I'm not going to say that, but it's a real one from back in back in my growing up days. My boy Thaddeus. He was a real one.
Hey, gentlemen, we're not talking about NBA right now. We'll get in that in a minute. We're going to cover the NFL. We're going to give the NFL fans what they want. Hey, There's some breaking news that the Falcons are wanting to trade Julio Jones. They're saying because of salary situations. So what is your thoughts about him being traded, and where do you see him going being traded? I'll let you take this one, Chris.
I mean, it's like, everything I was reading was like they're restructuring Matt Ryan's contract for the 2-3 years, but they're trying to trade away Julio. So, you bring in Kyle Pitts. Everybody thought you're going to have Kyle Pitts, you're going to have Julio, you're going to have Calvin Ridley. You're going to have the best offense, but now you're getting rid of Julio. And more than likely, teams are going to offer more picks and maybe one or two young guys, but they're going to get a boatload of picks. So, I don't know, man. I think if I'm a team that's in win now mode, though, I'm throwing the bag at them. So, for me, the Patriots. The Patriots the team I want to see go get him. I believe right now the Patriots are my dark horse. If they go get him, I might just say they're my favorite. And there's a couple more teams I want to name, but I'm going to let you guys go. Get your teams out the way so I don't want to step on your toes.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and knock it out of the box. I have one of them. You know what, Green Bay? You say you don't want to get rid of Aaron Rodgers? You say you want to keep him? Hey, bring in Julio Jones and with a Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. I guarantee you a second thought.
Right.
You're talking about an all-time great receiver and Julio Jones.
You said the Giants or the Packers?
Right.
You know what I said,
Chris.
You're
talking about his main team.
I agree with you, though. I agree with you. If any chance that they want to keep Aaron Rodgers happy, they better give it all up and go ahead and bring in Julio.
Hey, Kenny, where can you see Julio going?
Nate mentioned it in the comments. That's the team I'm with, is the Ravens. I think that's the team that, we've been talking about it for a while, that it's time for them to get him a number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And no disrespect to Sammy Watkins, but he's not the answer. He's better as the 2 or as the third receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's a spot. Another spot is the Rams. I think the Rams, that would be a good look for them. You put him and that, with that receiving
They're the
core.
favorite. They're the favorite.
Yeah,
they're the favorite out there.
Exactly. Because, to me, they got a bunch of 2s. They really don't have a 1. Cooper Kupp
2's in a good system. 2's
yeah,
in a very
Cooper Kupp is a 2 to me. I can't think of 17's name.
Woods. They got D-Jack now, so they got a lot of complimentary guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you. A lot of complimentary guys, and Julio going there. They the favorite.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys be surprised? Because I seen something pop up on my phone today, and then would you guys be surprised if the Kansas City Chiefs get involved? They said that they could offer him a.
Oh my gosh!
I want to be surprised. You got a good ownership group over there, good GM, good coach, and they want weapons. So I want to be surprised. And at the end of the day, like I said, whatever team offers up the most draft picks, and all the teams I list, like I said, the Patriots. I have the Chiefs that I was thinking of, the 49ers, and the Colts, and even the Packers. All those teams are in win now mode. And so if I'm the Chiefs, I'm trying to win as soon as possible. I got my guys locked up for at least, I got Mahomes locked up for a while, but I got my other core guys locked up for the next 4 to 5 years. Let me go ahead and throw in some picks. Let me bring in Julio, and let's go, to 4 or 5 straight Super Bowls.
Man, if they do that.
If they do that, nobody play me in Madden.
Throw the whole season.
Nobody play me in Madden, and if you're going to get the Chiefs, we're not playing.
Hey, Kenny, so what you're saying is, if the Chiefs get Julio Jones, it's going to be like the Warriors when they got Kevin Durant. Like, it's over.
Yeah. Like, if you're the Falcons, though, you got to ask for one of those guys back. Like, you got to get back Tyreek Hill, or you got to get back Travis Kelce. Like,
that's not happening, though. That's not happening.
I know. I'm just saying, like, in order to make that type of deal, but you put Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Julio Jones. What are you going to do?
You can't do anything.
There's nothing you can do to stop that offense if you do that.
Nasty.
Oh, another team, though, I thought about, too, was the Miami Dolphins.
I like that. I like that
one
as well.
Alabama, three-headed monster going on there.
You right.
And I'm going to tell you another team that I think is going to be, Chris, you wasn't here Monday, but my NFL hot take was that your Eagles, when John Watson's situation get cleared up, that you guys will be in the mix of getting a Deshaun.
I already know that. I know that. We're going to have 3 first-round picks next year.
Hey, and
they can be in the mix.
Hey, you get a Julio Jones to go over there with them. Hey, that brings you guys right back in the.
But if I'm Julio,
only if we had the money though. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't have passed up playing with Deshaun Watson though.
Oh well, if that's a package deal, then that's a game changer. Like if you're putting Deshaun Watson with Julio, then maybe. But if I'm Julio, man, I'm going to me. I'm
going to a winner.
Yeah, I got to go to a team that's a Super Bowl contender. Otherwise,
you put the Eagles right there in the mix, Kenny?
No, we're not a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I don't. I still think they need their running back away, even if they do get Julio Jones. They still don't have that.
We need a number 2. No, Miles Sanders is a number 1.
I mean, he's solid.
He's a number 1.
He's solid to me. I don't know if he's that elite. I think he's a good back. I'm not sure if he's an elite back.
Man, the stats, the men's lie. That's what I say about Miles. The men lie, women lie. But his stats compared to all the elites, especially with the amount of touches he get compared to the ones the elite
running backs. That's my point.
But it's comparable. It's comparable. He's averaging over 5 yards per carry. He's getting like 100 less carries than some of these guys. He's getting all the yards, all the breakaway runs. It's just what it was is. Our coach sucked last year. If I'm being honest, his rookie year was better than his sophomore year. His rookie year, he was a beast. Sophomore year, we stopped running. This year, he's still the 3rd best running back in the division, but it's not like we got 2 slouches in the division. But I want to talk about this real quick, Nate. Out of all the teams we said, I know for sure the Colts really have that cap space. I got some friends that are Colts fans, that lifelong Colts fans. One of my friends, his cousin was Marvin Harrison, and we was talking earlier. They have the cap space, and you bring in a new quarterback. You have T.Y. Hill, you have Michael Pittman, but to me, I still question some of their playmaking receivers, some of their receivers and weapons in general. If they bring in Julio, that is a big game changer for the Colts.
For sure.
Big game changer.
For sure.
Hey, Chris, let's go ahead and talk about your Eagles. That's the next topic. Jalen Hurts came out, talking about, the QB1 situation. Is it a foregone conclusion that he should be like the starter?
Everybody knows he's the starter. The coach is just saying that to bring some fire in the camp. New coach, new head coach, new OC, so a whole new coaching staff. They're just trying to light fire in these guys. And if I've been paying attention to all the things the players been saying about the coaching staff, and it's all been positive reviews. And all the players know that Jalen Hurts is the number one. Joe Flacco knows he wasn't coming in to become the starter. He knows that. Everybody knows who the starter is. We didn't draft him in the second round. Bench our starter. We just paid franchise quarterback money with, then trade him in order for this dude to be the backup. We're giving him the keys. He proved enough, I guess, to ownership that he's going to be able, and to the GM that he's going to be able to do some things with this team. We bring in Devontae Smith. The O-line is getting more healthy. I said this about if the O-line's healthy, minimum we're getting 7 wins. Minimum. If the O-line's healthy, minimum we're getting 7 wins. This dude is the starter. He had big games last year. The GM, believes in him. The coach is a phenomenal coach. He did his thing last year with the Colts. And then the OC was with Justin Herbert, who has some legs. So this dude is a dual-threat quarterback, and they're going to put him in the use. He's definitely the starter. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
All right, Kenny, we're here what Chris just said on that, okay? So, your Dallas Cowboys have Dak Prescott back. The Washington football team have Fitzmagic. The Giants have Daniel Jones. You have Jalen Hurts at the Eagles. Where do you rank Jalen Hurts among quarterbacks in the NFC East?
Oh, man. Man, that's tough. I probably would make him 3.
Behind Fitz?
No, actually, I'm gonna give Daniel Jones the number 2. He's definitely got some room to grow. He started out the gate really fast.
He start more games. That's the only thing I hear.
He's more experienced.
That's the only thing I can hear that's going to make me not want to argue with you, Kenny.
He has a level of talent. It's really on experience, honestly. That's the only thing I'm really putting over Jalen Hurts is experience. Because
I can't argue with that. I can't
honestly because he's had some flashes. He's shown some ability. Like it's not like the guy can't play. He's just had some unfortunate
tripping over his 2 feet.
Yeah, exactly. Bad fumbles. The sniper shooting him at the 11-yard line. So it's just he's just had some bad. Just some, and again, to me, a lot of it is growing pains. Like this year is going to really tell a story.
This is make or break year.
Yeah, this is just going to say whether or not he's the future quarterback for the Giants. Because again, like all the expectations are there. You got all the tools that you need. You got Saquon back. You got a young offensive line. You got
5 wide receivers.
Exactly. You got all the weapons that you need. You have no excuses in terms of offensive firepower. You got everything you need at your disposal. So now it's time to put up a shutout. So yeah, that's the only reason why I got him too. But to me, Jalen Hurts, in terms of a leader, in terms of skill set, in terms of he just checks the boxes. And I just want to say real quick that it's no brainer. Like they're starting a new chapter in Philly, and he's the guy. Like you don't move Carson Wentz if you don't believe that this guy is the guy. So, this is just a new chapter, new tradition starting here, and he's the face of the franchise. I don't think there's any question that he's the number 1 QB.
I don't want to say face of the franchise, but he is the number 1 QB right now.
I think he has to be because you don't trade Carson Wentz if you don't believe that he's going to.
No, he's going to be, but right now the vets still hold the face. But I see what you're saying, though. I can't give him team leader just yet, but he's working his way to there.
Chris, let me pick it back off of what Kenny just said in a way, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. Even though, this dude is he's going to be your future quarterback, whatever. But we just talked about Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson comes available, where you guys can get him.
Oh no, he's available. He already said I'm available.
He's available.
Yeah, but let's say Jalen Hurts this year come out here and have this phenomenal year. Is there anything Jalen Hurts can do prevent him from being traded for Deshaun Watson?
He had that phenomenal year.
No,
that's go ahead, Kenny.
No, so let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase the question, your question, Freddie. Is there anything that Jalen Hurts could do that would make you not okay a Deshaun Watson trade?
If he comes out and balls out and shows, he definitely shows improvement. He shows he can be a leader and he balls out. Like, let's say, for instance, we only win 7 games, but you see the massive improvement. You see the offense taking off. Then, okay, I can hold out. And if he takes us to the playoffs, I'm definitely holding out. Like, if he balls out, he shows he could be the guy. I'm not breaking the bank for Deshaun Watson just to be in the same position that we are right now. We're going to have 3 first-round picks next year. 3 first-round picks. So if Jalen Hurts shows that he can be that guy, and we're already in rebuild mode. It's not like, we got a whole bunch of old guys on defense. Our offensive line is only getting older. We're in rebuild mode. So if Hurts, and right now, even though, we got those old guys, we're still one of the youngest teams. But if Hurts shows that he can be the guy with those 3 first-round picks, I'm surrounding this team with talent. I'm not breaking the bank to get a guy that's maybe going to, one guy that might, win us 1 or 2 more games, whether I could bring in a whole bunch of guys, 3 different starters, and that can win us 3-4 more games. But I'm not going to deny Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to be like, oh no, don't get him. But at what cost? That's going to be my only thing. If I have to give up too much after Hurts just ball out, please don't do it. But if you're talking about, 1 first-round pick, 2 seconds, and a player because his value is going here and there, I can do that. But 3, I'm not giving up 3 first-round picks if Hurts is balled out.
And I'm going to tell another player the Eagles need to watch out for. If they don't get Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers. He loves playing at AT&T Stadium. He would love to play him twice in 1 year.
True, but I ain't gonna lie. No, he too old. I'm not bringing in.
Why? That never make no sense.
And he's not coming to a team that is not there. We're not a championship contender. We're a playoff contender. We don't even know we can make it to the playoffs yet. But let alone a championship. Like I keep telling you, healthy O-line minimum. We're getting 7 wins. That's trying to make the playoffs.
Come to Philly.
He's not. If this was 2017, if this was 2017, he'd want to come to Philly. But this is not 2017. We're in rebuild mode. He's not coming to no team in the NFC East. If any team
and replace Danny,
not even. If any team, he's probably going to go to the Cowboys. If any team,
he ain't coming to the Cowboys.
Exactly, because y'all suck. That means he's going to no team. I just had to say that because I missed you, Kenny. And I saw somebody on the Cowboys trying to say I was winning 13 games. Pissed me off.
Well, they're delusional.
13? But 13 games and sweeping the division. Sweeping the division and 13 games.
That's tough. 10-7, 11-6.
Cowboys fans.
Hey.
That's the best case scenario is 11. With that schedule, best case scenario is 11-6.
13 wins, Freddie. They told me they was going to win 13 wins and sweep the division, and you can guarantee it.
Sweep the division.
I lost my mind.
Come on,
hey Chris, it sound like a typical delusional Cowboys fan.
That's why I just had to put my energy out there towards the Cowgirls.
They mess around, and you got the Schmiggles and you got the midgets over there. I have to defend the Cowboys for Cowboy Nation because no matter what you say, the facts are we will always be America's team. You will always watch us on Thanksgiving, so just deal with it.
Kenny, let me ask you a question.
He's not lying, though.
Why are y'all America's team? I never get that. Like, y'all have not been relevant for how long?
Not even relevant.
It don't even – and you know what's crazy? You can say all of that. We haven't won a championship in 25 years or however long it's been, and we still got more championships than
more revenue.
The Giants.
And more revenue. Look, here's the thing. You can't go overseas and call them the America's team. They're not really representing us the right way.
Valuable franchise in the NFL.
They're the most known franchise of all time. They're the most known franchise.
The highest TV rated franchise.
He's not lying. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it, but he's not lying.
Check this out, Chris. Each week he come on here and talk bad about the Giants, about the Eagles.
As he should.
But we won the combined 3 championships since the last time they even been to one. I mean,
and you still don't have as many as we do.
Not even that. It's the sad truth. People gonna talk about the Cowboys when they talk about every other team. It was except the Patriots, but Tom Brady left. Because that was really America's team for the past 21 years. We being honest.
They're the most dominant franchise in the NFL.
Let's keep it moving. We was talking about the NFC East. Hey, the NFC East have 2 amazing quarterbacks, probably the best in the game. 2 of the many others in the game. You have Ezekiel Elliott with the Dallas Cowboys. You have Saquon Barkley with the Giants. You have Sanders with the Eagles. That's on the come up. Who's going to be the best running back in this upcoming season? I'm gonna go ahead and start this one. I think it's going to be.
We already know.
No, you don't know. It's the dude in the Titans. Derrick Henry. I believe Derrick Henry. Have you guys seen that dude workout video? Like the dude's getting bigger. Like the dude is getting huge.
That's scary.
Like the dude is just like a freight train that's coming down the middle of the lane. Like this dude, I don't see how you can stop a Derrick Henry.
I do.
Well, they don't get weapons on the outside, but this like Derrick Henry, I think he's going to be unstoppable this year. I think the way they went out in the playoffs, they put a bad sour taste in that team's mouth. I think that he's going to come back for a revenge season, and I expect him to have another season like he had on this past year, but even better. All right, Kenny.
Yeah, I was gonna agree with you, but I just can't do that twice in 1 week.
It's bad.
Yeah. It just it doesn't sit right in my stomach. So I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara.
Damn it.
I'm going to go Alvin Kamara. He is easily going to be the guy with the most touches in the NFL this year, probably between him and McCaffrey. But I just think he's a little more durable than McCaffrey. And again, they're in transition in terms of their quarterback. I've seen speaking of workout videos, Jameis Winston. I've seen some workout videos with him where he's, looking pretty good. But of course, that's on air and 1-0. So it all, it's all different when they're, it's 11 guy on 11. But I just think he's the guy that makes the Saints offense go. And I think he'll be even more so because he's going to have to be the guy that's going to settle down those quarterbacks. So I'll just go with Alvin Kamara.
All right, Chris.
I'm not changing mine up. It's Alvin Kamara. I said weeks ago he was one of my MVP favorites. I have that much faith in him, and if he didn't have to split carry sometimes with Latavius Murray, he would definitely be in the MVP conversation, and the numbers would back it up. I mean, this dude, like Kenny said, he's a beast. He's the reason why that offense goes. And with them not having Drew Brees, I expect him to get more touches. When I look at the weapons the Saints have, they really don't have a lot. Michael Thomas is really the bulk of their receiving core, so I think they're going to rely heavy on this run game.
And they lost Jared Cook.
I think they lost their good tight end Cook too as well. So he's going to be in a running game, but look for him in a receiving game because he's one of the best, if not arguably the best dual threat, running back in the game as far as receiving and running and rushing. So I think he's going to have the best year, not only on the ground but as a running back receiving as well.
But I get what you're saying about Derrick Henry, though, Freddie, because
he's a beast.
That dude,
he's a
man,
beast.
God almighty. And then, he gets to play Jacksonville twice a year. And, he takes it as a personal vendetta because the guys from the area that he just puts 150 yards in them every time. Seems like every time they play.
Run 99
yeah,
yards.
Exactly. He's just a bully out there on the field. And and if he's getting bigger and if he gets faster,
it's a wrap.
God bless. It's a lot of business decisions going to be being made, this coming season.
All right. Let's keep on going to the NFL. Let's keep going to the NFC side. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's going to be coming for a back-to-back season to win the Super Bowl. Hey, the Saints are not the same. We don't know what they're going to look like at the quarterback situation. Maybe they're going to double some quarterback situation to do the Drew Brees return. You have the Seahawks, the Cardinals. Who's going to be the best team coming out of the NFC this year? Your opinion, Chris?
My opinion?
Yes, sir.
I would hope the Eagles, but we all know that's not going to be true.
We all know that.
Yeah, funny. I honestly think, if healthy, the Rams.
Wow.
I honestly think, if healthy, if everything goes right, the Rams. I think they're going to be motivated. I think Matthew Stafford, he's getting, that light, but he's also like, listen, you're in the LA market. We expect big things from you year one. Sean McVay, everybody's saying, oh, he needed a quarterback. He has it. We all know what Aaron Donald is, I feel like, honestly, when I looked at them last year, they kind of overachieved. They kind of overachieved. You look at their roster, had a lot of question marks, coming in this year, more experience, more chemistry. I think they're going to be able to do their thing. Their division is tough, but question marks on Matthew Stafford, I think he checks all the boxes. I think he's going to win you easily another 1 or 2 games by him being better than Goff, him being more durable than Goff. So I really think, the Rams could be the best, and I think they are going to be the best team coming out the NFC.
All right, Chris, Ken, who do you got being the best?
I got to go with the Super Bowl, defending Super Bowl champs. I still got to go with Tampa Bay. They pretty much, the band is all back together for the most part.
22 out of 22.
Yeah, that's unprecedented. You just don't see that happening. Normally, Super Bowl teams lose a guy or two because they get it back, coming off a Super Bowl. So the fact that they were able to bring everybody back. And, as much as I said on the last show about Tom Brady eventually, Father Tom catching up to him, he just figures out a way to be effective. Even if he doesn't get the ball down the field as much as he used to, even if his arm is not what it was, he still figures out a way to dink and dunk you to death. And, they got that running tandem, with Ronald Jones and with Fournette. So I just can't see anybody. As much as I would like to believe in the Rams, you still have to see if Matthew Stafford is going to be able to step up in that situation in terms of being in that big market, being a guy having expectations on him. He's never played with any type of expectations or any type of pressure or anything of that nature being in Detroit. So who knows how he's going to respond, in the LA market. That's, the second largest market in the country. How he's going to deal with the media, all of that scrutiny, all the other stuff that goes along with being a quarterback in LA. So I'm not, sure. I would love to see it because I'm sick of Tom Brady. To be honest with you, I'm just tired of seeing this guy win. But I just can't go against him right now. So I got Tampa Bay.
I'm not mad at you for that.
In the NFC this year, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of question marks. Like I said, when you talk about the Saints, you don't know how that's going to work with Taysom Hill and I can't think of the quarterback name. Jameis Winston. You don't know how that's going to work. You don't know the coach in Arizona is going to make that team gel and make that work. You don't know about the Rams. Like you said, we don't know about the Cowboys if Dak Prescott's going to be healthy. We don't know how Tom Brady's going to look back. So I hate to say it, but it looks good for my New York Giants this year. Hey, we don't know how they're going to look.
As soon as I thought that you was talking normal and making some sense, man. You do this, man. You were doing so well.
Hey.
You were doing so well before you haven't made any delusional statements the whole show, and now here you go.
Bro, look at the Giants, man. Like, we got weapons now, bro, all around the field.
No, we're not doing this. No.
We're having a serious discussion.
You did not just say the Giants are going to be the best team going out the NFC.
Stop trolling us. Stop lying to the fans.
Over the Seahawks, over the Packers, over the 49ers, over the Rams, over the Buccaneers.
When I look at our schedule, Chris, I do not see a team that I can say, you know what?
Kansas City?
I'm talking about in the NFC. There's not a team that I watch.
You're going to be better than the Buccaneers?
Last year when we played them, it was a competitive
game. Better than the Rams?
I would say so, yeah.
Your defense is better than the Rams?
Yes, I will.
All right, let's move on.
You don't just have one player in Aaron Donald.
They got the best corner in the game, too.
And I think we have the better coach.
Let's move. Yeah, based off a 6 and 10 year first year coach. Now he's just Vince Lombardi.
Let's
move on, man.
He changed.
I've seen coaches change culture still lose. Like, what are you talking about?
How are you changing the culture with a losing record? That's the same culture. You're still losing.
You know what? I'm gonna save this clip.
Can't make this up.
I'm gonna replay the same clip.
No, because the best team means they're making it out the NFC. So the Super Bowl are going. I mean, the Giants are going to the Super Bowl.
NFC East. You talking
the
about
Giants
the
are
NFC?
the Giants are coming out the Super Bowl.
I'm not gonna say they go to the Super Bowl.
I'm done with it.
All I'm gonna say is mandatory testing starts next week.
Oh man, like hey, let's get to the NBA. Chris, you want to moderate?
You want me to moderate?
Yeah, you can.
All right, I'll do a couple of topics here, Freddie. All right, let's talk about the play-in tournament. We're not going to talk about the Lakers and Warriors anytime soon, just because we're not going to give you the satisfaction. Talking about, that is.
Plus, he already got his
Yeah.
brand off, so we're not doing that.
Let's talk about the game going on currently. The Wizards are currently up 136-105 against the Pacers.
Let's speak on. Wait, hold on, Chris. Before you go, let me just say one thing. So Russell Westbrook has a triple-double, and they're winning. Who knew? Go ahead.
I mean, it's crazy that the Pacers just blew out the Hornets, not getting blown up by the Wizards. But if you ask me, I would have told you the Wizards were win because they won all 3 regular season games against the Pacers. But honestly, I don't know about you guys, but Kenny, I go to you first. How huge is the loss of Karis LeVert in this game right now for the Pacers?
Yeah, I think that's really the difference in this game right here. They kind of were able to not miss him as much because they went against a Hornets team that's inexperienced and, a bunch of young guys, first time in the playoffs, et cetera, and they didn't really need him as much. But against this team, with a Bradley Beal, and even Bradley Beal had a bad game tonight, and they still are smashing them. So, just Russ came out on a mission, man. He just was in attack mode the whole night. He was just getting in the paint whenever he wanted to. He was really bullying. Charles Barkley said it at halftime. He was like, he was bullying those guys. He was just getting in the paint and doing whatever he wanted to do, getting guys layups and just forced his will. It was clear that he had the mindset that they were not losing tonight. So, it's just a tough situation for the Pacers, and I feel bad for them but like you said the other day, with everything that Karis LeVert went through, in terms of the kidney situation and having to come back from that, and then now he's on the playoff stage and has a chance to really, establish himself as one of the premier players in the league, and then to have to go down to COVID protocols. It's just unfortunate, and it clearly to me made a difference. That's why this game isn't competitive.
Honestly, I feel like if they had LeVert, and if TJ Warren was ever able to come back fully healthy,
oh man,
we're talking about a team that could be a top 6 seed right now.
No, I think honestly, if TJ Warren is healthy, if Karis LeVert plays the whole season, they're probably in that top 4 to 5 seed. I think they get up to where the Knicks and the Hawks are, because quiet is kept. Indiana has a lot of talent. Like, they have a lot of talent. Now, getting LeVert, you got TJ Warren, you got Malcolm Brogdon, who's a really good player. You got Miles Turner, who's in the down year.
He's not even playing in this game too. He's hurt as well.
Exactly, and of course you got the All-Star Sabonis, who's one of the best young bigs in the league. So they really have a really nice roster that they can really be competitive and really be a contender in the East in the coming years. It's just a matter of if they can stay healthy and find that chemistry and figure out, how to really expand it. So I'll say this real quick and then I'm done. I think that the thing that the Pacers have to do with Turner is they got to make him into a low post center. I think they let him drift to the perimeter a little too much.
Yeah.
I think that
he has to be 60-40 at least, not 80-20.
They got a chance to have like a high post, like pick your poison, Sabonis to Miles Turner, and I just think they really need to, utilize him more in the paint and let him play with his back to the basket more.
Freddie, I don't know if you was watching, but before your Lakers and Warriors had a phenomenal game, there was a back and forth nail biter I don't even know how to call this game between the Spurs and the Grizzlies, but the Spurs ended up losing by 4. The two best players to me on that team, missed about 25 to 26 shots combined, and they got destroyed. So, Freddie, I'm gonna ask you this: with that loss, do you see Greg Popovich retiring after this season?
No, I do not. The game to me last night was it was, the Grizzlies took off, with a pretty big lead at first, and then, you seen the Spurs fight back in with Patty Mills. Patty Mills kind of got them back in the game. Would have liked to see DeMar DeRozan, shoot the ball a lot better than he did. Greg Popovich, man, hey, this team was going to be good this year. I mean, I think because at the beginning of the season they were like 18-13 before COVID came, and kind of shook this team up. And then, hey, you got to give credit to them. Even through the COVID situation, this team still fought and still found ways to win games and to find themselves in a situation to go to a play-in game. And unfortunately, that their star player was not able to get it done on last night. But I think Popovich enjoys what he's doing. I think he's doing it just because, hey, his legacy's already set. He's just going out there, just doing something that he loves to do. So I think he'll give it at least another year or two.
Kenny, what you think?
No, I think he's done. I think that once he does the Olympic thing, I think that's the bucket list thing for him, being a military guy, ex-military guy. And I think he coaches that team, and then he rides off into the sunset. I think this team is, in transition. They have a lot of young talent, the Dejounte Murray and Keldon Johnson and MJ Walker. They have some really nice young pieces. And I don't think he has the patience for it. I don't think he has.
Yeah, you saw his face last night.
Yeah, I don't think he has the patience for it. I think this is probably like a 4 or 5 year build in terms of getting back to being contenders in the West. I just don't think he has the energy for it. So I think they turn it over to Becky Hammon, and she's, makes history as being the first female head coach in the NBA.
Yes, I agree. All right, let's talk about now your I'm sorry, I forgot you're not a Warriors fan, Freddie. I was going to call you a Warriors fan just because. But let's talk about your Lakers and the Warriors, man. This was a great game. This is what the NBA wanted in the play-in tournament. They wanted their two faces and Steph Curry and LeBron to go at it, and it didn't disappoint. Steph Curry ended up with 37 points, 6 for 9 from the three-point line. He looked virtually unstoppable up until that last play, which was questionable. A lot of people I see are saying it's a foul, but Kenny, I'm gonna go to you first.
No. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Like a fan. Right. Yeah, let him cook.
Freddie, I'm gonna go to you first. How disappointed are you in Dennis Schroeder performance?
I'm very disappointed in Dennis Schroeder.
Are you surprised?
Yes, but for a player who said he want top tier money, yes. If you want top tier money, then you need to play like you want top tier money. You going to the perfect chance is when you get a spotlight on you. You're going against Stephen Curry. Okay, show us what you can do against Steph Curry. I look at it much more than that, you guys. I've seen a couple plays where he was under the basket for a clear-cut layup, where he passed up a layup to get a pass it out to Wesley Matthews or pass it out to whoever to get a three-point shot, and they missed it. And I'm like, Dennis Schroeder, what are you doing? It was so bad where, normally in the fourth quarter, your closing lineup, you want your best players out there. It was so bad that Frank Vogels took him out the game, put Alex Caruso, and had Wesley Matthews in the game. To guard Steph Curry. I don't know. I don't know. It's because he was, with the safety protocol thing. He was out for that week where he's not in conditioning shape. But I will say this. There's no excuses. You need to be smarter. You know what we're going around. You need to isolate yourself a lot better. He said he didn't take the vaccine. That's his personal thoughts, whatever he needs to do on that. But you just need to be smarter in this type of situation, in my opinion.
Me personally, real quick before I kick to you, Kenny, on his performance, I don't think it has nothing to do with health and safety. I think, the quote-unquote big three of the Lakers all played like hot garbage in the first half. If we're being real, they all played hot garbage in the first half. But the difference is, AD and LeBron first is a locomotive going to the paint, so he was going to end up getting to the paint and getting those easy layups. Same thing with Anthony Davis. He's 7 foot. He's virtually a big man, so he's going to get dump off easy dunks. Dennis Schroeder was forced to be on the perimeter so much that his game, he never got a chance to get a rhythm. Watch that layup go in, get to the free throw line, watch that floater go in. He never established a rhythm. He was just cold. And I think it got to the point where the fourth quarter, you look at Alex Caruso, to me, he was the second best player, playing in that game for the Lakers, and how he was on both ends of the court and how he came in and did his job steady the entire game. Wesley Matthews, although he was shooting bricks, in the fourth quarter, he was shooting bricks.
Worse than bricks, Chris.
He was still making big defensive plays, and that's something that Dennis Schroeder, he was just struggling with. But with the playing tournament in general, I've seen that every single game, some players have bad games. I've seen Russ and Bradley Beal both have terrible games. I've seen John Moran have a so-so type of game. So I'm not surprised, because even LeBron and AD did not have LeBron and AD type games. It's just the fact that they, at the end of the fourth quarter, were able to make the plays that Dennis Schroeder didn't make. I think he's going to be able to step up, in a 7-game series and do his thing, especially, going against the Suns. Him and CP3, they were just teammates last year. I think he's going to want to go at him. But Kenny, how you feel about Dennis Schroeder's performance last night?
I just think, what happens is one of two things: either pressure busts pipes or pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah.
And it bust pipes on last night. You don't get a tougher matchup than Steph Curry. And the guy's just, he's just a constant motion. Like, you literally just have to,
right.
It's crazy. And it's crazy. Like, you remember, he reminds me like a guy, like you think of guys like Rip Hamilton, you think of guys like Reggie Miller, guys are just a constant motion. But this guy's with constant motion and with the ball in his hands. So he's coming
and he has handle.
Exactly. And he's coming off, he's coming off the screens. Then he's initiating offense. So then you got to chase him off the screens. Then you got to chase him off ball screens. Then you got to keep him in front of you. You got to pick him up as soon as you cross half court. It's just a long night, and it's a lot of effort that you got to expend, on the defensive end. And I think, and credit to Alex Caruso, he came in and stepped up. But I will say this about the Lakers, like, this ain't gonna cut it against Phoenix.
Nope.
Like, there's no way that playing at this level or playing the way they played against Golden State and having this, slide by team that was pretty much 3/5.
But they were banged up. They were banged up.
They are, and I get it. But again, you got Phoenix that they're probably licking their chops and really feel like they got a vulnerable Lakers team. And I'll say this about Chris Paul, like, this is a legacy thing. There's no way you cannot lose. And I wish Jay was. I wish Jay was with us tonight. But you cannot lose in the first round to LeBron James. Not a hobble LeBron James. Like, everything is set up for Chris Paul. So if they lose this series, you will never hear the end of it for
really. You know what's gonna make the difference, Kenny? I think LeBron's not going to really try hard this series. The reason why I say that is because we played the Phoenix Suns a few weeks ago, and we seen Anthony Davis eat. They don't have a Draymond Green who's going to be.
I'll give you that. This is the one he can really. Because he doesn't have a defensive matchup. He doesn't have a matchup where he has to really expend himself on defense. I'll give you that.
So Freddie, so you say, I heard you just talking about Draymond. How he made AD look like how he looked.
I'm gonna give him his credit. I'm about to give him his credit. Right.
Did Draymond prove that he deserved to be a finalist, like he was just named for Defensive Player of the Year last night?
It's close. He might be. He might be. I'm gonna give him his credit, man. Mark Jackson said this during the game.
4 for 13.
Yeah, but yeah. We'll give you credit for his. Mark Jackson said this last night. Draymond Green have heart over AD. Now AD.
We all knew that.
Well, and that's going to be his advantage against AD is his physicality, because AD is a finesse guy. He really doesn't want to. He wants to face up. He wants to put it on the deck and get to the basket. He doesn't really want to post up a whole lot. Now he'll post up at times, but it's more on the move.
It's going to be the reason why the Lakers aren't successful, because as center, He had 22 out of his 25 points when he was at the center position. He struggled playing power forward. And it's not just him, but the team struggles when he wants to be soft and finesse, when he can go out there and dominate. When you go against the Warriors team that are small, so they got Draymond and Tashiko Anderson, and you're having Andre Drummond guarding Tashiko Anderson. Andre Drummond looked like a deer in headlights last night. So I laughed because all Lakers fans said it was going to be over getting this guy. He looked like a deer in headlights last night. So you better hope that against these teams like the Suns that have a traditional.
But that's a better matchup for him.
You're right. No, you're right. But this is when this is when I don't need to see and hear AD complain and talk about I don't want to play the center where they don't have no real shot blocker out there. So if you're at the 5, you can spread out the floor. You can dominate. You can spread out the floor to make the paint more open for guys like LeBron and Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma instead of having Andre Drummond just standing there looking dumb.
Chris, we done with Kyle Kuzma. Say THT now. Replace Kyle Kuzma.
THT played 5 minutes, so I don't know
why.
I can't play. Kyle Kuzma didn't look that bad. He looked better than a lot of people. He looked the fourth best player out there.
Let me say this real quick though about with AD dominating. Like Jay Crowder is another version of. To me, he's a Draymond Green light. He has that same type of Rough Rider, physical.
He couldn't do nothing.
But I'm saying in terms of he's the type of defender that Draymond Green is. So he's got to do this. He's got to do the same. He can't be that finesse guy sitting out there on the perimeter.
And that's what he did in the finals. In the finals, he just shot over him. And you better hope you make it.
You got to get it mid-post. You got to get it at the elbow and go to work.
Jay Crowder going to be on LeBron. Like I think
Jay Crowder is going to be on AD.
Who's going to guard LeBron?
I think they're going to split.
They're going to put Mikal Bridges on LeBron to start, and DeAndre
that's going to be a bad night.
But that's what they're going to do to start. While Ayton and Drummond are in the game, they're going to guard each other.
I got 2 things to say, and I'm be done talking about the Lakers. I see Lakers fans, and all this say, "Oh, it's over panicking." I'm like, bro, calm down. LeBron have played only 4 games in the last 80 days. But he looked
60%, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's still getting his foot under him, getting conditioning under him. His ankle's still
not a lot of time.
There's no time.
You can't condition your way into the playoffs now. It's the playoffs, man. And there's no practice time. You're not practicing a lot. He's gonna have to do some cardio on his own, but I don't care how much you hit the elliptical. I don't care how much you hit the treadmill.
It's not game speed.
Exactly. You can't simulate that game speed of going, stopping and starting and exploding and all that other stuff.
And this is why I said the second thing. I think LeBron's gonna be at AD years. Hey, I need you to carry this round. Let me carry this the second round. Let me get myself together. Let me get in a rhythm. Let me get conditioning under my belt. And then, hey, by the time we come to 3rd round, let's go. And they build in the chemistry too. So I mean, hey, if there's any player that I put trust in to be ready when the times come, is LeBron. But we're gonna. This is gonna be another challenge that he's gonna be looking.
Is he gonna be able to see this round?
Truth be told, though, look. Truth be told, I don't think LeBron. I'll be honest. I don't think LeBron can do that against the Suns. The second round matchup, maybe. The second round matchup, not even because you got the Nuggets. And I'll be honest, LeBron can't coast. He's going to have to put up.
They're going at his head. He can't coast. Going at his head. Chris Paul has no off.
Chris Paul and Booker have the green light against this series. And they're going to do their thing.
I don't care how close, and I don't care how close they are. This is Chris Paul's opportunity to make a statement. And say that the Suns are legit because everything goes out the window if they're losing this first round. Everything that they did in the regular season means nothing. And it's the same narrative about Chris Paul not winning in the playoffs. So he has to win. What's my prediction?
Yeah.
What's my prediction? I got the Suns in 6.
Chris, what's your pick?
I mean, LeBron looks right now. I got to go at 7. I don't have a team right now. LeBron at 60%. Is tough.
That's really why. If LeBron was healthy, I would say the Lakers all day. But
I got to go at 7. I think it all depends on LeBron. He went 7 for 17 the other night. He should have been 13 for 17, 12 for 17, but he was missing layups that LeBron doesn't miss because he doesn't have that lift anymore. So if he's playing at 60% and AD is playing like he's soft, I don't know if I can confidently say they're going to beat the second best team in the Western Conference right now. Do I think it can happen? For sure. These are two of my favorite players, and this is one of the best defensive teams in the league we have right now. But you got the Suns who've been consistent the entire year. They know their system, and it worked for them. So right now, I think until I see more healthiness from LeBron and AD and consistency from other guys, it's going 7.
I got
It's going 7.
I got Lakers in 6.
I'm not mad at you for that.
Hey, listen, Dennis Schroeder
Forget AD. Forget AD.
Dennis Schroeder's got
his Dennis Schroeder has to be the X factor.
And he knows his game. So
Dennis Schroeder and Frank Vogel, he needs to stop making bones because he almost lost his game last night. People don't want to say this. That first, he finally made the adjustment. But like you said, Chris, I thought the Lakers should have went AD to 5 much sooner than they did. So
I mean, that's how the game should have started.
Yeah,
I don't know why they brought Ed and Andre Drummond in the first place.
His rotations need to be better. THT, 5 minutes, he come in the game, knock it down to 3. Then you don't go back to him.
You got to be careful too.
Players got to be better too. You can't blame the coach if the players are playing. Sorry,
like if your strength is size and defense, then you got to play to your strength. Like you got a 4 and a 5 here, you got to play to your strengths. And
Kyle Kuzma, man.
But if Dennis Schroeder was knocking down his shots, Andre Drummond and all that, like, don't get me wrong, Andre Drummond did look at deer in headlights. But if everybody around him is doing their job, his job is going to be more easier. So I feel like if everybody is playing bad around Andre Drummond, he's not. He really has zero impact, in my opinion. But it looks even worse when everybody around him is looking sorry.
Yeah, I think that AD coming back kind of has made it a little tougher for Drummond because he was getting a lot more touches.
He's getting no touches now.
Exactly.
You get putbacks and you get live.
And that's it. And so it's hard for him to get a rhythm and hard to get himself going when he's going from maybe the first or the second option to the third or the fourth option. That's tough.
True. For me, I don't know how many. I'm not even going to hate on Andre Drummond. I'm not even going to do that. But let's look at some potential first round matchups. Since the playoff starts on Saturday, let's talk about the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. In my opinion, this is a matchup that everybody wants to see. And this matchup can really change everything in the NBA. Everything. So, Kenny, I'm gonna go to you first. What's your predictions? Miami Heat versus Milwaukee Bucks.
Man, this one is going to be a battle, man. I think this is no question goes 7 games. Yeah, I think this goes 7 games because playoff Jimmy Butler is different, man.
Playoff Jimmy Butler is the closest thing to playoff LeBron that I've seen.
Yeah, he just like his mentality and his will to win just goes up notches. I think the key is going to be is if they're hitting their shots, like Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, they have to hit their shots for them to win this series. So if they're hitting their shots, I think they have an opportunity to extend this to 7 games. But I'm still going with Milwaukee. I'm a big Drew Holiday fan.
Talk about it.
Yeah, I just think he doesn't get enough respect. He's an elite 2-way player. Probably one of the best 2-way players.
First team all defense in my book.
Yeah. He's just been the difference for Milwaukee this year because what happens in the playoffs is, when the game slows down, you need guys that are able to get their own shots. That's what caused Milwaukee to really struggle these past few playoff runs because
Eric Bledsoe was just
and
in the playoffs.
Hey, don't do that to my man.
He was in the playoffs. He was a bum.
I ain't gonna say he was a bum, but he just his shot stroke. He struggled with his shot. When the game slows down, it's harder to get in the paint, and that's his strength. But Drew Holiday can score from all 3 levels, and Chris Middleton. They got 3 guys that are able to get their own shot at any time, and I think sometimes the Heat. Losing Oladipo, that kills them. That gave them another weapon on the perimeter. So that's what's really going to be the difference, I think. If Oladipo is there, it might have been a toss-up that I might have maybe picked the Heat, but with him out, I got to go with the Bucks. I got the Bucks in 7.
What you think, Freddie?
I got the Bucks in 5.
Oh, wow.
The reason why I say that is because what happened last year, I don't think it's going to happen again. I think at the addition of Drew Holiday is going to be on the guys like Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, they're not going to be able to go off in that game. They're not going to allow them to beat them from the perimeter. I think Giannis is going to come with a different mindset this game. I think Chris Middleton is going to step up. I don't see the Heat. The Heat been up and down this year, up and down. So we're not sure what Heat team we're going to see this year. So with that being said, with the addition of Drew Holiday, I don't see it going past 5.
I got killed in noise. Ever since the All-Star break and guys got healthy, if you look at it since April, they had the best record in the NBA. So I don't know what up and down you're seeing from this team. I know, but from the when it's time, what everybody says playoff time, everybody started taking serious right after that trade deadline. They've been the top 3 team in the NBA. So I see what you're saying. Though, the beginning of the year they were up and down, but lately they've hit their stride. I mean, for me, I think I'm still lost because I look at the addition of Drew Holiday and the defense. What he adds on defense. I mean, Eric Bledsoe wasn't a scrub on defense. But for me, Drew Holiday is just way better.
No, he's an upgrade, no question.
It's not like it's not like Eric Bledsoe couldn't guard nobody. He could do that, but it's the impact he's going to have on offense. Like Kenny said, a guy that's going to be able to get his own shot and not rely on Giannis, hopefully driving down the paint, or Chris Middleton driving down the paint. So now you got 2 guys if you're Milwaukee that can confidently get their own basket and they have court, and that's the difference maker. But to Kenny's point, also with Miami, Jimmy Butler is not only winning 1 game in this series. I'll be honest. He's willing them to win, and they're going to win one on their own. I know that for certain. I think it's going 7. I'm a toss-up right now. I'm a toss-up. Losing VO is going to hurt them, but, I mean, when I look at Bam, I think he's going to have – I think this is Bam coming out party. He's upset that he wasn't named to the Defensive Player of the Year finalist. So expect him to be on Giannis. And I think he's going to do his own. I think he'll hold his own.
He's a bad matchup for Brook Lopez.
Like, he's going to cause them to go small.
Yeah. His ability to put it on the floor and Brook Lopez, he struggles with lateral quickness, so he's just going to face up on him and just go to work. So I think Giannis is going to have to guard him some. So it's going to be a lot of chess matches, and I think the difference is going to be. I think the reason that this is going to go 7 is. The coaching. I just think Eric Spoelstra is just a great coach, and he's really great.
Way better coach than Bud, in my
opinion. And I'm not the biggest fan of Bud. He just, I think sometimes they get a little too perimeter oriented, and they don't. There's no plan B. Like it's just Giannis. Put your head down and go to the basket, and we just figure it out from there sometimes. And
he's yet to change. He's yet to change.
Yeah, he doesn't make the adjustment. Like last year, I was begging him, like, why don't you post up Brook Lopez? Like you're struggling to score. Like,
I don't understand. This dude was the best post player in the league.
Post the guy up, man. Let him get some easy baskets, something close to the basket. Maybe he'll draw a double team and open it up for the perimeter guys.
Especially
but it was just that 5 out. He's just standing out there at the 3-point line, throwing up them bricks from 3, and then and then it's just they making a wall for Giannis, and he's trying to beat double teams in the paint, and it's just not working.
It's terrible for me. If Giannis is going to the bench first, my first 2 possessions, I'm throwing it down to Brook in the post,
right?
Because there's not a lot of guys that can go. He's too big and still too strong.
With the second unit, like I'm with you. I will leave. You take Giannis out, or if you take Middleton out, and that second unit. He should be the first option. Just drop it down there and let him get going. But he puts him out there with that 5-out offense, and I don't understand it.
Let's stick in the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about this 4 and 5 matchup. Kenny, I'm going to you first. You got the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. Who's winning and how many games?
Oh, the Knicks in 6. No question about it. The Knicks in 6. And I say 6 because, just real talk, the Knicks struggle to score at times. Sometimes it gets a little stagnant and the ball doesn't move as much, and there's a lot of standing around in terms of
ISO ball.
Yeah. And when it's hard to win that way, especially in the playoffs. But the Knicks play so hard and they defend, so they're always going to be, it's going to be a lot of close games, I think. And I just think the home court advantage, like the Garden is already sold out with limited capacity. The first 2 games are already sold out. New York is on fire. And as much as Brooklyn may be, they may be the sexy team with the three great guys, but it's still gonna be a Knicks town. Brooklyn's only one borough; it's 5 boroughs in New York, and the Knicks own New York. I don't care what anybody says, and that's not changing no time soon, unless the Nets just go on a stupid like 3 out of 4 run. Then maybe it's up for grabs. But right now, it's the Knicks town. The Knicks, everybody's excited. The Knicks are back in the playoffs. The Garden's going to be jumping. It's going to be crazy. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm super hyped, and I just think, in terms of breaking down the series, I just think that the Hawks. This is Trae Young's first time on the playoff stage. This is John Collins' first time on the playoff stage. As great as Nate McMillan is as coach, and I think he deserves some consideration for Coach of the Year. It's hard when you got 2 of your best players, it's their first time being in the playoffs. So I just think between that and the experience of Tibbs and just the D Rose just coming into his own in terms of just being that great spark off the bench, I just think he makes the difference. D Rose makes the difference, and he's going to really go at Trae Young and really try to get him in foul trouble. So I just think that's going to be the difference. And I just think Julius Randle, is just on a tear and just been, to Freddie's point, what he said the other day, he definitely deserves consideration for MVP, no question about it. So I just think he's just going to continue to elevate his play. And I think we win in 6.
Me personally, I think it's going 7. Only because when I look at it, the one thing that the Hawks have, in my opinion, I think they have some shooters. I think they have some shooters, and they got some guys that can score. And not saying that the Knicks don't, but the Knicks got a lot of ISO guys when I look at them, like R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, D. Rose, Alec Burks. You're going to look at the box score, and, when you look at the Hawks, it's somewhat even. Everybody's getting the ball. Everybody's involved. And when you look at the Knicks box score, you got 4 guys, 9 times out of 10 that are in double figures. Everybody else got 2, 4, 6 points. And I think sometimes that's going to help, the Knicks, and sometimes it might hurt them in this series. And like you said, I call it the old school mindset because I don't even think players think like this no more. If you want to negate a star player, it's not by shutting them down. It's by getting them in foul trouble. So I'm looking at D Rose. I'm looking at Emmanuel Quickly just going at Trae Young. That's what I would tell. I know D Rose knows this because he's a vet. I'm going at Trae Young all the time, getting him in foul trouble. If I'm Julius Randle, I'm putting pressure on John Collins, Clint Capella, getting them in foul trouble because that's the type of game that they have. So I think, because both teams, if you look at it, the Knicks beat them all 3 times in the regular season, but all games were relatively close. They came down to, key possessions, which changed the tide of how the game went in. The last time they played was all the way in April. Both teams have improved since then, by some teams, they got guys healthy, more chemistry involved. So I think it's going to be a close matchup. I think it's going to go back and forth. I think it's going 7, but I like the Knicks, winning in 7. How you feel about that, Freddie?
When the playoffs come, defenses tend to get better, get tighter. The games start to get more physical than it was normally in the season. And so I agree with Kenny, but I have it going 5 games. I'm going to tell you why. I think Coach
Tibbs got some short first round series, boy.
No.
The reason why I said because I think Coach Tibbs is going to drop a game plan to neutralize Trae Young. I don't think he's going to allow Trae Young to go off on him. I think he's going to do the same thing the Lakers did against Steph Curry. So you know what? We're going to try to not let you beat us.
But they got better. Only thing with that is they have better shooters. Like you can't.
Bogdanovich is shooting 8 threes a game. Hunter, Hubert,
those guys, man.
I understand that, but I think even though you do that, you gonna have Julius Randle. I don't see John Collins stopping Julius Randle. I don't even see Clint Capella. Like Chris said, they gonna get in foul trouble. I think Derrick Rose coming off the bench, he can give you 15, 20 a night. I think this team is going to be dangerous. I think this team can finish them off in 5. I don't see them winning in New York, especially, the first time in the playoffs in a while. That arena's going to be crazy. The city's going to be crazy.
Madhouse.
Spike Lee's going to be there. Ooh.
Right, but you got to understand, everybody also goes to New York. And we've seen guys that are on opposite teams have their big games in New York.
Yeah.
So I want to be surprised, though.
Yeah, but only thing with that, man, is the only guy that you could say that's going to do that
is Trae.
Is Trae. and he's got a guard on the other end. And I need Tibbs to have a quick hook with Alfred Payton. I need Derek D. Rose playing 30 to 35 minutes.
I need Alfred Payton out as soon as they 8 minutes. Boom,
right, that's straight up. 4 minutes, man. I need a quick hook with Alfred Payton because it's 5-on-4 when he's on the court. So
that is true.
So I need D. Rose, man. Rest up, get plenty of rest, lots of fluids, stay off your feet because we need you this series, baby.
Are you saying you need some icy hot?
Icy hot, ice packs, ice baths, massage therapists, whatever it takes.
Let's go to the Western Conference. Let's talk about some of these matchups. These are, one thing I love about the West is they have playoff matchups that I want to see. Some of these, in the Western Conference Finals. Like I love they always do this in the Western Conference. But let's start off with the 4 and 5 matchup, the rematch from last year with the Clippers and the Mavericks. Me personally, when they played last year, I said, and I stand on it, if Kristaps Porzingis did not tear his meniscus, they were beating them in 6.
It's definitely possible.
However, they were a totally different team in a bubble. Mm-hmm. They had guys not in condition. I don't. When I look at them now, I think they got better. I think they added guys that play better. They have now that 5 that can stretch the floor. They have 2 5s now that can stretch the floor, and they can also play in the paint. They can play defense, and they added Rondo. To me, in the offseason on this show, we said how many times that the Clippers need to sign Rondo. They need to sign Rondo. Now, that was, hoping that they could keep Lou Will. But honestly, going into the playoffs, I think Rondo is what you need more than Lou Will because Rondo is still going to be able to pick his spots, and he's going to get 9-10 assists, and he's going to be able to – the main thing that he's there for is to get Kawhi and Paul George easy shots when there's 2-3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Because you watched them this year, they lost a lot of games because all they did was ISO in the fourth quarter. But now you got Rondo, the king of putting everybody in better positions. For them to succeed, I got Clippers in 6. I got Clippers in 6. And if I had more faith in Paul George, I would honestly say 5. I like the Mavs, but to me, they're a 3-man team, and that third guy has to be consistent. When I look at the Clippers, they got a way better squad. And if I trusted Paul George more, I was saying 5. But for me, I think people underestimate what Rondo does in the playoffs. He's shown it every single year. And then people, forget how dominant Kawhi was this year. So for me, it's definitely Clippers in 6. Freddie, I see you shaking your head. I know you're about to hate on the Clippers because they're in LA. So go ahead and give your spiel.
No, Chris, I agree with you. Clippers in 6. The reason I'm shaking the head is because Dallas missed the opportunity with the Josh Richardson trade and the stuff in the Seth Curry.
That was the worst trade. That might have been top 5 worst trades this entire season. I thank them. That's
why I'm shaking my head. I agree with you.
But it's their fault though. They're using him the wrong way. They're thinking he's a shooter like KCP. KCP, he's a 3-and-D guy, but KCP is one of the best shooters in the game, and he's been like that his entire career. Josh Richardson isn't a high volume shooter. If you weren't using him like a guy that's supposed to be a main 3-point shooter, he'd be playing with so much better. They try to have him a secondary ball handler. They're trying to have him run the offense. Too many things that's not supposed to be in his job description. If they used him properly, just like Philly, we didn't use him properly. But in Miami, he was used properly. That's why so many teams want him. If they was to use him the right way, we wouldn't be saying this trade was this bad. But thank you, because Seth Curry has changed the Sixers. And I have a Curry now. The case is over. That's why we're winning the East. Cat's out the bag. We got a Curry. We're going to talk about it later.
Yeah, but
let's not get carried away.
That being said, I'm not sure what Porzingis we're going to see. Are we going to see a Kristaps Porzingis like we seen in the bubble when he was going off? I'm not sure.
He's like AD. He reminds me of AD.
The same thing, man.
They want to be soft or they want to be aggressive.
Yeah. And then I just don't think Luka could way to beat this Clipper team really with this squad. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I expect it to go back and forth, but I think the Clippers will be able to pull off in the fourth quarter. I'm going Clippers in 6 as well.
I think Luka is still. Matter of fact, I just want to say this. Last series we saw Pat Bev kind of run away. Paul George sometimes run away. Kawhi, it felt like at times they would guard him, but then at times, after he hurt his ankle, it was like when they wanted to start guarding him. But before that, it was like they're running away. So this series,
not Mr. 94 feet.
Yeah, I need Paul George. I need Pat Bev to be pesky, then I need Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter to take turns like how Michael and Scotty used to do.
I think Rondo is also.
Rondo's probably going to want to guard him more than those two guys, but I'm not trying to hear that. When they were signed, I love Rondo, but when they were signed, we talk about defensive guys that are supposed to remind us of MJ. We're supposed to remind us of Scottie Pippen.
Right.
No, I'm talking about as a unit.
No, with that length.
Exactly, with that length. That was the last time we really seen something like that. And it's not like they can't do it because Paul George is one of the best defenders in the game, and we know what Kawhi can do when he wants to, when he was more of a defensive guy. But in this series, I need them to take the initiative in the fourth quarter. You don't got to do it quarters 1 through 3. You can, put Rondo, you could put, Morris, Nicholas Batum, but in that fourth quarter, things need to change. But
I will say this though. If the Clippers found a way to lose this series the first round,
forget about
Kawhi's coming to Philly. Forget
about it. Kawhi's out of there.
Kawhi's coming to Philly.
Hey, listen, and they have to win this series, especially
it's no ifs, ands, or buts.
All the talk about them ducking the Lakers and tanking games. Which is definitely factual. But I got the. Actually, I'm going to Lakers and I'm the Lakers. I'm going to Clippers in 5. I think this is going to be – they're going to make a statement in this first round and just get Dallas out of here. Because like you already made the point about Rondo. He plays at a high level in the regular season, but it's clear in the playoffs he just steps up to a different level. I think the reason is because his IQ is so high. The dude is just
higher than everybody's.
It's just so smart. Like he sees plays and before they happen. People talk about that, but this guy literally sees passes before they happen. And he diagnoses teams' offenses. He calls out sets. He's just a savant. Yeah, he's just the ultimate coach on the floor. And I just think he's already diagnosing on how to limit Luka. And I think he's in the film room breaking down that film, and he knows all of Luka's tendencies and all the things he likes to do. He's going to be taking away that step back that Luka likes to, like to use. And they're just figuring out because they have 5 guys that they can throw at Luka. Between Batum and between Pat Bev and Rondo,
they even got more than that. If we're going to be completely honest,
they could put Morris on them too. That's 6. But I just think, like you said, Freddie. I think the reason why that this is gonna go short is because it's gonna be a referendum on KP. Like at the end of the day, all of the promise, the unicorn and Dirk 2.0, and then he just been a can't get right, and he just hasn't stayed. And honestly, he does not use his size. Like he falls way too in love with that jump shot, and he just does not get in the paint enough for me. And I just think he drifts a little too much. And honestly, they really, with a guy like Boogie doesn't have he doesn't have the lateral quickness to be able to deal with him. Zubac doesn't have the lateral quickness to be able to deal with him.
Ibaka's going to be guarding him more so.
Ibaka's going to guard him a lot. But to me, the only way that the Mavericks win this series is if he averages 25 plus a game.
No, you got to be 30, bro.
Yeah,
he can average 25 plus easily.
Yeah, I just don't think he can. I just don't think he consistently. He doesn't have the motor to consistently do that for them to win this series because we know what Luka's going to do. Luka's going to get his 25, 30 a night. You got to have somebody else get 25 and 30. Unless Tim Hardaway catches fire. There's really nobody else on that team that you can count on to get you 15 to 20 points tonight. And, Josh Richardson is just not that guy. He's better coming off the bench, but I think they like Tim Hardaway in that role as the instant offense off the bench. So they just kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in terms of the talent level. And it's crazy to me because all these years, you would think that Mark Cuban would be able to get somebody to take his money. But he just hasn't been able to get that marquee free agent to come to Dallas. It's a great city, no state tax, great weather.
You're right.
I
think now is the time he's really going to do it. Like, because he had the stuff with DeAndre Jordan. They had a decent squad, but nobody ever believed in them 2015, 16, 17. But now, we're going to talk about this a whole nother episode. But now, these next 2 free agencies, that's when I think people are going to want to come to Dallas. But with KP, I think because he gets injured so much, he comes in and starts shooting jumpers instead of going right back into the paint. And then he keeps shooting them, he relies on them. But once they decide to start and be inside out, the outside game is more better, but they have to switch that in their mind. But let's switch it up. Let's talk about this 3-6 matchup. The Denver Nuggets going against the Portland Trailblazers. Kenny, who you got winning this?
I got Portland.
Oh, my God.
I'm not betting against my man Dame Time. Listen, when it comes to playoff closers, there's not too many guys in the league better than Dame Time. And I just think that he's going to be on a mission. I think Melo, I think CJ, I think those guys with that three-headed monster with Nurkic, if Nurkic just is able to stay on the court, even Enes Kanter coming off the bench, like that guy is
double machine.
Yeah, as much as people love to talk about his lack of defense, when that guy gets on the floor, he just produces and he does what he does. So I just think that they're going to, and Denver, the Joker is definitely probably going to wind up winning the MVP. But at the end of the day, I just think that Jamal Murray injury finally catches up to them. As much as Michael Porter, MPJ has stepped up, has become a viable offensive weapon for Denver. This is Aaron Gordon's first time playing in the playoffs. So I just think they don't have enough talent in between the playoff vets that are in Portland. I got Portland winning this one in 7 games.
For me, real quick before I give it to you, Freddie, I think it all depends on Will Barton's health. Will Barton.
Yeah.
If Will Barton's not there, I'm liking Portland in 6. I'm being honest. I'm liking Portland in 6. I think, I'm looking at you. We know Jokic is going to get his, right? But there's some question marks. No Will Barton, then it's just Jokic and MPJ. I'm confident in MPJ. And then when I look at the Blazers, their, kryptonite is tall forwards that can shoot, MPJ. But I'm not worried about Aaron Gordon. This is just going to be that 2-man game. When I'm looking at the Blazers,
he's got to give them 15 or 20 for them to win.
MPJ got to get them 20. It's not 15.
Oh, no question. I'm talking about Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon has to be that third guy.
Yeah, he's got to be.
He's got to be that third guy. Then his defense has to be right. And then when I look at the Blazers, I just don't think they're going out in the first round. I think that backcourt is going to, together give you 50 and 10 minimum. I think Nurkic, when healthy, is going to give Jokic problems. If Nurkic is healthy, not saying he's shutting him down, but if you remember, somebody that can man-to-man go up against Jokic, put a body on him, I think he's going to slow him down, give him problems. And for me, the question marks, I'm looking at who else other than those 3 guys. You're going to need Norman Powell to be consistent, which I think still that was a terrible trade, but it is what it is. I think he's going to have to be that X factor, and Carmelo has to give you 13 to 16 a night off the bench. And Kanter is staying double-double. But if they can get help from those others, Blazers in 6 for me. What you think, Freddie?
Game time. I got it in 6, man. Portland in 6. The reason why I say it is because Damian Lillard is going to do the same thing Steph Curry did to the Lakers. When I say that, he's going to be so much of a threat. He's going to make the others step up, like you just said, Chris. He's going to make a C.J. McCollum to elevate his game. Going to have a Norman Powell step up and hit big shots. You're going to have Nurkic. You're going to have Melo wide open for threes because they're going to be so much paying attention to Damian Lillard. And I don't think without Denver, without having Jamal Murray to bring that same pressure against Portland, without him, I don't see them bringing that pressure. And, the Joker can do so much. He's a center. He's going to need help. MPJ is a good player. He's still young. But are we sure he can give us 20 a night? What about on the defensive side of the ball? Aaron Gordon, he can give you about 10 to 15. But I don't see the Denver does not have enough firepower for a Portland team. I don't think. If they beat Portland, hey, man,
it's possible. Let me say this.
No, it's definitely possible.
I think it's possible. I'm not saying like some of this series I think is a foregone conclusion of who's going to win. But for me, I think the Nuggets have shown that they're resilient. And the Blazers, for some reason, been inconsistent ever since they made the moves and guys got healthy. But
I think defensively, that's their biggest challenge is that they just don't guard well.
Covington and Derrick Jones.
I have Norman Powell come off the bench. I will put Derrick Jones
back in the starting lineup. I would do the same thing in this series when you got tall guys that 6'9", 6'10", that want to play in the perimeter and slash. Come off the bench, Norman Powell. Just like the same
And
thing
I was going to say he was better. That's how he was really.
That's the way he was better with the Raptors.
Exactly.
And you know what that does?
That was the terrible trade.
That gives Dame enough time to rest when he's on the bench, where he don't have to be playing so many minutes. You have somebody where hey, maybe you have CJ and Norman in there, where
exactly, and you put Melo in there, and
you can
Melo
switch it up. But it's all about Terry Stotts. Like for me, I think he's the Western Conference Scott Brooks. I've been saying this for a while.
He's gone after the season. Like
no, that has not been reported. Because
okay.
No.
Well,
it's question marks. If they lost in the first round, he's gone. But if they beat a hurt, Nuggets team, he's still going to get a pass. Like I said, he's the Western Conference Scott Brooks. He relies on his two superstars, just like Scott Brooks did with Russell Westbrook and KD. The players love it, but they don't win anything. But that's a wrap for some of these first round matchups. The 1 through 8, the 2 through 7. I think, we talked about the Lakers and the Suns. That's honestly going to be the only competitive series. The Nets are going, in my opinion, beat the Celtics in 4. Same thing with the Sixers and the Wizards. And honestly, we don't until we know who the number 8, seed is. We don't know what's going to go on with Utah. But let's talk about these all NBA teams.
Yeah, bro. Look, Bleacher Report reported that Terry Stotts is expected to be fired by Blazers after the season.
If they don't win, if they win, he's not getting. You're not going to fire a coach that takes you to the Western Conference Finals and you lose to the Lakers in 7. They're not doing it. If they lose, he's getting fired. You don't fire a coach that wins you anything.
I think if he loses,
that's only if they lose.
Yeah, I think they lose in the first round. Then
he's gone. He's gone.
Especially Denver, with Murray being out.
With Murray and Barton being out. He's gone.
They're expected to win this series, so if they lose this series, then he's gone.
But like I said, if they end up losing, like the next round, they got the Lakers or the Suns. They got a close fought battle against a team that has a chance to win a championship. They're not going to fire him because they've been in the playoffs 8 straight years. He's only getting fired, if they lose in the first round. But Kenny, I'm gonna go to you first with these All NBA predictions. Let me hear what you got.
Oh man, so I'm gonna go a little different with it. And pick 2 centers.
I probably should do that, but I'm trying to keep it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the position thing. I can't. I can't not have Joker and Embiid. So those are my 2 centers, and then I got Steph, I got Harden, and I got Giannis. That's my first team All NBA.
Did you do your second and third?
I really didn't.
Okay.
I kind of focused on the first team.
All right, Freddie, what you got?
I got Steph Curry at point.
I
got Devin Booker at the 2. I got KD at the 3. I got Giannis at the 4. And I got Embiid at the 5.
Yeah, those are really good ones. I got all 3 of mine. It's going to shock people, but this is the truth. Some guys are going to be left out of this list. I'm going to tell you at the end. Well, I'll tell you now. If you miss more than half the season, shout out to you. You did your thing, but if you miss more than half the season, it's rough. It's rough to put you on here. But for me, my first team is Curry, Dame, Randall, Giannis, and Embiid. I tried to keep it the regular way. If not, Jokic would definitely be in there in the first team. But for my forwards, you can't tell me Randall's not first team and what he did. And Giannis did his thing, but nobody's going to talk about it because he hasn't done anything in the playoffs. My second team.
It's a regular season award, though.
Yeah, I know, but they hold that against Giannis. The whole media is he should be in the MVP conversation with the numbers he's putting up, but he's not because they want to hold playoff stuff against him. My second team, I got CP3, Luka, LeBron, Kawhi, and Jokic.
You still got LeBron on the second team?
Yeah, he played more than half the season. My third team is Kyrie, Bill, Tatum, Zion, and Bam. It was tough for me. I was stuck between Harden and Kyrie. I just personally gave Kyrie the edge because they would, the media was slandering this man, not only the basketball stuff, but it started getting too personal for me. And the fact that he had 27, 5, and 6 on 50, 40, 90 splits. I hope he gets the credit he deserves because he definitely played like an all-NBA caliber guy. And Bradley Beal was doing the same thing as Steph, but doesn't get the credit. This is the second season in a row averaging 30-plus points. Tatum did his thing, without Brown, all career highs. Zion went from 21 to 27. And for me, Bam's the third best center. He's better than Rudy. So I got to give him some All NBA.
Chris, did you put Devin Booker in any of your teams?
I couldn't put him over CP3. Luka, no. Kyrie, no, and Bill, no. I love Devin Booker. I remember I picked him as a dark horse for MVP, but looking how everything ended, Bill, I can't put him over none of the guys.
That's hard. It's hard.
It's tough. It's tough.
Because
going to leave
guys. They're the second team, second best record in the West. So he definitely did.
He definitely listen.
He had 25, 26 this year.
A lot, like 24, 25. He has a lot of consideration, but I'm looking at a guy that Bill that averaged the second most in the league, and if he didn't mess up his hamstring, he's arguably averaging the most in the league. Helped this team with a bunch of nobodies. Him and Russ carried that team to the A spot. The same thing the same thing CP3 did, but the same thing Steph did, and Steph's in the MVP conversation, but nobody's talking about Brad Bill. I don't understand that. Brad, the numbers don't lie. Brad deserves to be in there. If we going off numbers and impact, Brad did his thing. I love Booker. It was tough. I'll just say that because it's really no wrong answers when you look at these, honestly. Unless you got Rudy Gobert as all NBA. For me, that's the only way you mess up if you got Rudy Gobert all NBA. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. But let's talk about now, real quick. What are the Warriors going to look like with Klay Thompson coming back? I'll go first. I'll go quick on this one. To me, they're going to be a top 6 seed. You're going to have draft pick. If they get the Timberwolves draft pick is outside of the top 3, you got that pick. You got Kelly Oubre. They're going to make some trades, and if they do all that, they're going to be a top 5, top 6 seed easily when their eyes closed, and they're going to compete for a championship just like that. Because you're going to have draft picks you can trade. You have a guy like Kelly Oubre who said he doesn't want to come off the bench. I'm keeping Andrew Wiggins over Kelly Oubre. So if you're going to have me, Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Clay, Draymond, and Wiseman, I think that's a good starting 5. Kenny, what you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they're probably a top 4, top 5 seed with a healthy Clay. Because at the end of the day, Clay's a shooter. Mm-hmm. So I think the only thing that might suffer from this is his defense. He might not be as the lockdown defender that he was because the mobility in terms of
ACL and Achilles
and Achilles that it's going to affect his ability, but it's not going to affect his shot. He's still going to be able to shoot that thing. So you put him on the court with Steph, and it's just basically pick your poison still. And again, they got some maneuverability, like you said. 2 number 1 picks, and who knows how they reshape the roster, what they do. They may be a player in free agency. So I think they're at least a 4, at worst a 5 seed.
What you think, Freddie?
I think top 5, just depending on what they do with the roster. But hey, you see what the pressure defense are doing to Steph Curry. Just imagine the Steph and Clay out there. Like, you can't triple team Steph no more. And then whoever they get in free agency or with trades, the draft picks, whatever, it could be a whole other threat offensively. So I'm going to say top 5. And, hey, depending on how far the Clippers go, if Kawhi leave, don't be surprised if the Warriors end up in the Western Conference Finals next year.
Hot take. But let's wrap this episode real quick with the rankings. This is a tough one, a one that I'm not going first. I'm going to let the guy who created it go first. We got Allen Iverson, Isaiah Thomas, and Kyrie Irving. Freddie, go ahead and rank those 3 guys.
Number 1, I'm going Isaiah Thomas just for the fact that he was the original. First, he was the one making big shots. He was one of the ones leading that the bad boy Pistons to win championships against Michael Jordan, to compete against them. And then number 2, no disrespect. I understand Kyrie's a bad brother. He's a cold brother when he's on the court. You talk about a crossover machine. He probably got like one of the best crossovers in the game. But you have to give it to Allen Iverson. You talk about Allen Iverson was the only player, I believe, in 2000 that was able to beat a Lakers team that went undefeated in the playoffs. But you talking about give me one game. Allen Iverson was able to do that. You talking about a walking bucket. AI could give you a bucket. You couldn't stop him. He was impossible to stop. But if he was just on the right team, he would have won a championship.
He was on the right team. They just didn't surround him. He was on the right squad.
And then you have Kyrie Irving hit the biggest game-winning shot in the finals on a Game 7 to win Cleveland's only championship. You talking about Kyrie Irving who can get a bucket no matter what. You talking about Kyrie Irving who can hit the mid-range, who can get you in. He can even attack you on the inside. He can get the three-point shot. I mean, hey, this dude can do it all. So it's unfortunately got to put him number 3, but yeah, that's my ranking.
What you got, Kenny?
Well, before I start, I just want to say if any of my family is watching this, I did not bring up these topics. This is the third time that Kyrie has been in one of these lists. I am not the one doing this. So I just wanted to put that out there as a disclaimer. But in terms of my list, Isaiah Thomas got to be number 1. 2-time champion, finals MVP. So to me, like the list starts and ends with him. He's got to be number 1. That number 2 and 3 is a toss-up. But championships are always a differentiator. As much as as great as players Allen Iverson was and is, the fact that Kyrie is a champion, the fact that he's even an Olympic gold medalist over AI, the team that AI went to the Olympics didn't even, they didn't win a gold medal. So, like, as great as an individual player as AI is, and the guy that changed the culture in terms of the NBA, it's no question about it. Probably one of the best. And then also another thing I thought about too is efficiency. Like, you talked about it earlier with Kyrie being 50, 40, 90 guy. This guy's been a mid-40s field goal percentage since he's come into the league as a rookie. And the fact that he's, had the biggest moments on the biggest stages, and like you said, hit that shot, the game winner in Game 7, and just been from the time he's come into the league, he's just been just a great guy. The only thing that's really been his Achilles heel has been his health. So I got him number 2, and then I got AI number 3, and then that 2 to 3
it's personal preference.
It's super close, man. You can make a case for either one of them. I think there's no question that Isaiah is number 1, but that 2 or 3 can go either way. But I got to go with Kyrie number 2, so I don't get disowned.
Yeah, you're definitely right. We all got Isaiah Thomas number 1. This is a guy that can lead the league in assists. He can lead the league in points. He's really one of the first guards that was a scoring guard. But when that bad boy system and everything came, he developed and evolved his game to fit in that system. But if you told this dude, like in the All-Star games, they always say you saw the raw Isaiah Thomas. He's going to be able to crush up. He had the handles. He could score everything. But he just played to his team, and that's why he won 2 championships. It should have been 3, but they cheated, calling that foul on Bill and Bear against the But we don't got to talk about how the Lakers cheated for that one. We don't got to do it. Number 2,
he ain't going to say nothing.
He's not going to say nothing. But number 2, like we all said, is personal preference, and I can't go against my guy AI. That made me love the game of basketball. That made me love sports. I just can't go against what he did for me as a person. Like, and we talk about basketball wise, I laugh when people, and I'm gonna just, Kyrie's story, but I just want to talk about these 2 guys. They say they couldn't play in the 80s and 90s, but who was guarding them? Because you can't hit. Allen Iverson showed that you're not going to be able to hand check him. He showed that. You're not hand checking AI. So if you're not hand checking AI, what you're going to think you're going to do with Kyrie, who has more of a handle, but AI was just quicker with the crossover, but Kyrie had the handle. So I laugh when people say those guys, wasn't playing in the 80s and 90s. But with, AI, he changed the culture. He was a beast. Philadelphia did nothing to support him with, the necessary talent, but he's still able to carry us to a finals, beat that unbelievable Lakers team in one game. That was a huge game, has one of the biggest, finals moments of all time, and he don't even like talking about it. And it's just like, and people talk about his efficiency, but he was the only guy on that team that can score.
That's why he wasn't.
And he was 6'1", 160. So imagine me at 6 foot 160, and you're the only guy that can get a bucket. So that's why. And Larry Brown came out and said this, and I heard him say this many times. AI had the ultimate green light because that's the only chance the Sixers had at being successful. If he's not putting up 25 shots, we're losing by 25. So that's how bad the Sixers team were, and we were still able to make the playoffs and be successful. So he's my number 2, and Kyrie is my number 3, but it's not easy. I've been a fan of Kyrie Irving since I saw him in high school dropping people, and then I saw him going to Duke, play 11 games and get buckets. Then I saw him come to the Cavs and be one of the best young guards in the game. And now, in my opinion, third team All NBA is a top 5, top 6 point guard in the game, and he's evolutionizing the game. And that's my 1 through 3. Isaiah Thomas, Freddie called him the original. He definitely is one of the original guys that could do it all. AI, and then I got Kyrie. Freddie, go ahead, send us off, man.
Hey, you guys just tuned in to the Real Talk Crew Mondays and Thursdays, 8:30 Central. I think this is the first time since we've said this on Real Talk. On Tuesday, we broke a record for our record views. We hit over 1,000. Followers on the network. I want to thank all the viewers, the fans of the network. I want to thank all the analysts on the network as well. Cannot do this without you as well. Like I said, check us out on YouTube as well, under All Sports All Plays Network. Chris, Kenny, you guys have anything else you guys want to say before we roll on out?
Let's go Knicks, baby.
Let's go Sixers. We represented our team. Monday, unless something big happens in the NFL, it's going to be all basketball Monday. The playoffs start. And there's some other
breaking it all the way down.
We're breaking all the way down. There's some other things that we didn't get to discuss, about basketball.
Oh yeah, we got some. We got
and some things we definitely got to talk about.
Yeah, we got to get to that.
We're definitely going to get into that. So Monday, expect a lot of basketball unless something big in the NFL happens.
Hey, LeBron, I need you at your house with your ankle propped up with the ice pack on there. I need that story.
If it's anybody that's wrestling,
the hibernation chamber, what they call it?
If anybody's resting right now, we know it's LeBron.
I don't know, man. He was out there with Michael B. Jordan Drake the night before party, so
and he got a triple-double the day after. So
yeah, he did. So, but hey, you guys, thanks for watching. You guys have a great night. We'll see you guys Monday. Peace.
Peace.